pipes.
Are you as surprised as we are?
In fact, we learned that the source of the stream from the St. Maurice Boulevard to here simply consists of pipes.
Forget the Pond of Miracles, the Lake of Prayers, or even the Jesuit pool. Today, it's just pipes. But originally, it was indeed a river.
And the mouth here, where the pond is, was the location of a religious mission, a missionary station.
And that's very logical, because the location could have helped cultural exchanges with the First Nations.
Yes, but it came a cropper.
I don't think you can say that.
Well, it came a cropper like a bad potato crop, as in it failed.
Yes, indeed. I understood the expression. Grandma understood the expression. But the potato crop failed around 1760, 100 years later. You should have said it turned into a Jerusalem artichoke.
You're such a darn turnip, Grandma. Louis-Philippe is really a, whatever root vegetable you choose. First Nations are nomadic, and this was a gathering place, not a site for building long houses or condos with views of the river.
So, if this is a gathering place and not a settlement, you have to wonder, when exactly did people start to live here?
On January 15th, 1636.
I don't know if you wanted such a precise answer, but that's what we were told. I thought it was a little too precise. Come on, so nobody was here on the 14th and then, oops, a village was here on the 15th?
It surely didn't happen in 24 hours. But for the history, we have records and therefore the dates. Just to refresh your memory, Grandma, what happened before 1634? The year Trois-Rivières was founded on July 4th, 1634, more precisely.
Yes, but in 1636...
Everything east of the St. Maurice River, or the Tapiscoine, was granted to Jacques de la Ferté, the abbot of
St. Mary Magdalene of Châteaudun in France.
We already knew that, and we didn't even have to do any research.
Because Grandpa talked to us about it every time we went to the Châteaudun Pizzeria in downtown Cap de la Madeleine.
Because Grandpa always said that Jacques was one of the 100 associates in the company of 100 associates, with Samuel de Champlain as well as Cardinal Richelieu, among other people.
Well, sometimes he'd call it the Company of New France and Armand Jean Duplessis de Richelieu.
The land was granted to Jacques de la Ferté. It was a matter involving a huge territory, from the St. Maurice River to Grondines, and from the St. Lawrence River to Lake Mikinak. He wanted to colonize the territory, to populate it in exchange for monopoly of the fur trade.
Beaver pelts for making wide-brimmed hats and tricorns.
And if the trade for its part was chugging along...
I don't think it was chugging along.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, there were no trains in New France, so the trade was canoeing along.
Well, Grandma, and only Grandma, the fur trade was doing very well. However, settlement of the territory for its part was going nowhere.
Because you can't populate a territory with just voyagers, bushrunners, paddlers, and men who travel north.
And there were no women in your list.
Well, no women, no children.
Nonetheless, the abbot of St. Mary Magdalene split his huge domain into 6 fiefdoms and other lordships, including that of the Cap de la Madeleine shrine.
And why did they call it the Cape?
Because there was one here before, a cape that jutted out into the river.
Yes, but when you look at photos of the river, you ask yourself, why is it no longer there? Did the Mauricie decape itself, so to speak?
Almost. Actually, the cape was made of sand, so nature did its work, and the cape disappeared.
Can you believe it, Grandma? There aren't 3 rivers in Trois-Rivières, and there's no longer a cape in the Cape. They've been lying to us for nearly 400 years.
And I'm not sure that you know this, Grandma. Before 1646, it was called the Cape of 3 Rivers.
The abbot of St. Mary Magdalene is the one who gave it the name Cap de la Madeleine.
That's right. And until 1649. Before that, the territory was the exclusive domain of the First Nations.